Can a woman give lectures on the audio? There are two views. One group says, okay, no problem, women can give audio because not the awra. The other group, which is more close to Quran Sunnah, says that a woman should not give lectures even to the gents. And I agree with the second view. Because when you're giving a lecture, you're modulating your voice, and Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Azab to the wife of the Prophet, that do not be too compassionate in your voice, lest the other person, there may be a disease in his heart. So imagine the Ummahatul Mu'mineen, who was so pure. For them, Allah puts a restriction that do not be too compassionate in your voice. Otherwise, in the other person, there may be a disease in his heart. Imagine, all the wives of the Prophet are the mothers of the believers. Yet, Allah put that condition. So similarly, a Muslimah giving lecture to the Muslim woman or to the non-Muslim woman is perfectly fine. But a Muslim woman giving lecture to a namera male, it should be avoided. Talking is permissible, as I told in my earlier answer. Talking, seeing to it, lowering your gaze, if it's required. Unnecessary, no. But giving a public lecture to be effective, you have to modulate. You cannot say, I'm talking about Islam. Islam has got 5 pillars. The first is Salah. The first is Tawheed. The second. It will not be effective. You have to modulate. Even when you're speaking with the ladies, you have to modulate. You can't be, without modulation. So, if a woman gives a lecture only to the woman, no problem. She should see to it that she does not publicize the audio on the social media. And as far as my wife is concerned, though she knows very well that voice is not the part of aura of women, she never had an audio recording. She never encouraged audio recording, no video recording. She always gives lectures to the ladies, one-to-one in gatherings of 100, 1,000 people, no problem. But always audio and video recording was prohibited. Lately, since last year, because of pandemic, where all the on-site lectures stopped, there were no gatherings. You can't have gatherings of 1,000, can't even have 100, can't even have 50. So then I coaxed her and told her that voice is not part of aura. Why don't you give on the social media? So on the Zoom, she gave lecture to the ladies, but she saw to it that she did not put the video on, only audio. Because with all your restrictions, though when you're giving on the Zoom, you have a control who's coming in. You may never know, a gent may come posing as a lady. So that's the reason when she was giving audio lectures, she had PPT, PowerPoint presentation, that's good. You can have scenery, you can have graphic designers on graphic design, but avoid video. Even if you allow only ladies, you may not know who will break that barrier. So, if you are giving a lecture only to the ladies, it's mentioned on the poster, on the social media, that this talk is exclusively for the ladies. And then it says in the bottom, gents may also get reward if they invite their female relative for this talk. Indirectly telling them, okay, you can get reward by inviting, maybe your wife, your daughter, your sister, your mother to the program, no problem. But it's only for the ladies. And if a gent breaks the barrier, you don't want them to come, fine, it's his fault. And that time if you're giving audio speech and if there is a modulation, that's his problem. You're not going out of the way to give a lecture to a gent. So when a lady is doing dawah on the social media, it is preferable that the social media restricted only to ladies. Though there is one group of scholars which says there's no problem, there is no restriction, etc. But I agree with the other group which is more strict and more close to Quran Sunnah, that even the audio, though it's not part of the aura, it should not be done freely to the mixed gathering. It should exclusively be done to female. So in the second category of audio, you can, because whether you have a audio talk on the YouTube or on the Zoom or on the Facebook, you can convert the visual into, instead of the video recording, to a PPT, a PowerPoint presentation, or a graphic design, or maybe a graphic plate comes in. If you're quoting a verse of the Quran, so the Quranic verse comes. You can mention the points in brief. So it's more interactive. and fine, you can ask questions. The lead is asking questions. So you can use the Zoom call for a live talk, or you can have a video conferencing. You can use the social media platform, but see to it that the visual is put off.